Hello, Aries. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything at all. New Aries readings are every Monday and Friday. If there's anything you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here we have quite the visionary. We have the Knight of Pentacles. This is someone who really is understanding the tough decisions that have to be made right now in order to secure the future, right? You understand, I think, how every decision you make, every choice in life, everything you do right now, every thought, word, and deed is creating your future self. It's building your future life, everything you do right now, right? So this is the energy that really has the spiritual vision. You're able to see kind of what you want in the distance, right? What you want 5 or 10 years from now. So I think this is a wonderful card to start with. I think you're a very practical person. I think that you have no problem kind of getting up and getting moving, but you like to have a goal in the distance. You know, you like to have something to work toward, right? So it's not just kind of wasted effort. And this card really does have that kind of vision. I think you know where you want to be in 5 or 10 years, yeah, or even by the end of the month, right? So this is a good place to kind of to picture in your mind and then reverse engineer it, right? You work backwards to figure out, what do I have to do today? Because everything that I'm doing right now is going to contribute to who I am tomorrow and next week, next month, next year, right? So this is a really good card to start with. Let's see where this goes. Now we've got our first card. Let's select our last card, and that's going to be the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. It's one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot that we are just going to select here, maybe right there. And we're just going to set it over here. We'll put Mr. Ed, our little horse, right there on top. And now we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need, right? If at any point during the reading you feel like you might know what that card is or you have a hunch, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments, all right? Let's do it together. Let's make it a group exercise in intuition. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Anyway, so this Knight of Pentacles that we started with, this is something that we have to get this vision kind of clarified. You know, you have to ask yourself, where do you want to be in a month? Let's say by the end of January, where do you want to be? Who do you want to be, right? This is not really the card of action. This is the card of kind of understanding that everything is an investment. Right? Every thought, word, or deed, every ounce of effort that you have right now at this moment is contributing to who you will or will not be, you know, a month from now, or even in the next moment, right? It doesn't have to even be that far down the road. But let's do another card here and see what the challenge is. Well, see here we have quite the challenge because there is a little bit of pessimism creeping into the situation. With the Eight of Cups here, it's almost a loss of hope. It's almost feeling like your cups are half empty and maybe they're cracked and the water's draining out, right? So this is kind of, I think there's a difficulty right now with you kind of clarifying that vision, right? Maybe what you thought was the future, the 5-year, 10-year plan. Maybe you're starting to feel a little differently about it. Right? Maybe there's some uncertainty there about if that's really meant for you, if you still want those things, right? Or this could also be that, you know, we have that 5 or 10 year plan, right, for down the road. But it almost feels like every time we take a step forward, what do? Take a step back or 2 steps back. So it seems like it's always 5 years out, right? Even 5 years ago, it's still, and now 5 years out still. So it's almost, I get the feeling that the timeline keeps getting pushed back for something, right? Something you're working toward, and it seems like this was your 5-year mark, and now you got to kind of push it back a little bit further. So it's starting to weigh on your emotions a little bit. Oh, this is a very good one now. See underneath everything. Some of you might be experiencing some dental pain or some kind of toothache right now. I'm feeling some warmth in the jaw area. I think might be afflicting some of you. This Eon or Judgment card down beneath the surface, this is the rebirth, the reawakening. This is the baptism by fire. This kind of feels to me like it's a necessary struggle. Like it's almost as if you have to go through this final test of having this. It's almost as if your heart's kind of being tempted to go in a different direction, right? We're feeling this push and pull with the emotions, with that 8 of Cups. The Eon is saying that this might be kind of a necessary trial, tribulation, a necessary purging of all of these emotions as you reach the finish line for something. Yeah. And whatever this is, I think it really is going to change your life. This is a big thing, right? It could be a career change, it could be a promotion, it could be that you're waiting for a relationship to develop in a certain way, business, platonic, romantic, it doesn't matter. These are life readings, okay? So take it how it resonates and apply this energy to whatever area of your life is occupying your focus, your central focus right now, okay? But it is a big move. It is a big doorway. And I think that you're the type of person that you don't take on commitments very, very lightly, right? It's not easy to get you fully on board with something, right? Like I said a few minutes ago, it's you don't mind getting up and getting started as long as you know that it's leading to something, as long as you know where it's going, as long as it aligns with your heart. And that, I think, is kind of that's the test right now, is this still something that aligns with your real values and your true beliefs, okay? The fact that this is, again, beneath the surface, this is within you, and I feel like you've got this sense of that you're right on the threshold of something, but it's almost like that last effort to get across, to get through the doorway, right, has been kind of has been delayed. Yeah, I feel like you're meant for great things. Yeah, you've got this really innovative energy where I feel like it's okay that the timeline keeps getting pushed back, because it's going to be so worth it. If it takes a little extra time, that's okay. You know, let's look at another card here and see what the motivating force is. Well, now we've got another major arcana card. We've got the Justice or Adjustment card, and this is a background. This is leaning towards a business kind of thing, or some sort of a more formal project that you're working on, because this is kind of the card of like bureaucracy, legal matters, contracts, agreements, right, partnerships, that sort of thing. This could still be romantic, it could be. And if it is romantic, it kind of seems like you're starting to question whether the other person has the same kind of values and beliefs and has the same kind of vision of the future that you have, right? So there's a question of alignment here, and whether or not either you still align with this long-term vision, or if the other person involved still aligns with it, along with you. I think there was some sort of a commitment, a partnership, might be even like a formal contract. This could be literally like a legally binding thing that you've signed on to. This could be a kind of marriage thing. It could be an employment contract or some sort of a business deal. Yeah. But the fact that it's kind of behind us, this is telling me that you've made this commitment already. And I think that you were raised to really, to not break your commitments, that it's almost like your word is your bond, I'm also getting the feeling that someone in your family smoked when you were a kid, like smoked inside the house. And maybe that kind of is bringing up this, like this kind of family, this upbringing where maybe you were instilled with these values that, you fulfill your promises. That if you commit to something, you do it, right? Even though now we're starting to feel, do I still want this, right? So I feel there's a little bit of conflict here between the obligation and the real feelings that you have about it, okay? Another card. No, now we got a lot of major arcana now already. We got the Chariot up here. And the Chariot is kind of, it's what you're aspiring to, I think. And you want freedom of mobility. You want to be able to create the kind of future that we're really looking for here. That's going to allow you more freedom, allow you to, I think, establish roots, right? To lay a foundation for a successful, abundant life. Yeah, maybe build a family, build a home. But you want the freedom to be able to kind of choose where and when to do this, right? So I think there's part of you that does want to maybe go in a different direction, right? But this card's kind of a test too, It kind of says, well, when things start to get a little bit confusing or the pressure's really on or things start to get frustrating, how easily do you kind of cut and run? How easily is it for you to just change course? Maybe in an unconscious way, it's us trying to find an easier path, right? Because the Chariot here doesn't need an easy path. This is someone who is ready for battle, ready for bad weather, ready for potholes, ready for unpaved roads, dirt roads, but will stay on trail, will stay on task, even when the road conditions get less than ideal, the Chariot isn't going to find a different, easier route, right? It's going to endure. But I think it might have something to do with a Cancer person in your life too, if there is this idea of a partnership with somebody else. And there is this, I'm getting this feeling of home, of family, of kind of securing a future for yourself and your loved ones. And there's now this split between, do I stick to my obligations, or is it okay to break our obligations, to break our promises when our top priority is securing this future for ourselves and for our loved ones, right? So you're not going to stick to this obligation even if it's in competition with this other kind of moral principle that you have, right? Let's see one more card for the future. Let's see if we're going to get another major arcana card. No, we don't. We've got a four of swords here. So there is communication that needs to be brought up, that needs to be established and initiated. So there are others involved in this with you, and I think it really is, it's time for everybody to sit down at the table and listen, right? The Four of Swords is not really much about talking as it is about listening. It's trying to sit still, close your mouth, open your ears, and pay attention to what the other people are saying. Now, this is also the expectation that you might have for other people in this situation with you. If there is a Cancer person, perhaps, that you need them to listen and hear you. You at least need the opportunity to talk about this little bit of water energy, the kind of the fluctuating feelings that we have about whatever this bigger project is. And maybe just voicing these concerns, talking about these issues is going to really help you sort them out and see if you're still kind of in line with them, if this is still something that you ultimately want. Yeah. So we're going to start with the Path of the Serpent now. And as I do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. Leave some comments for me. I really do enjoy when you shout out where you're watching from, because we have a worldwide audience here, and to me that is just fascinating. Right? New Aries readings are Mondays and Fridays. First card now. Oh, we've got a good one. Here is the Magician as your general energy, and you are definitely the type of person that would rather hear the honest truth than be lied to. I wonder if that's like your biggest pet peeve is dishonesty, or even white lies, or just kind of glossing over the truth. I think really bugs you. I think you would rather have all of the facts, all of the data. Don't sugarcoat it. Give it to me straight, right? So that you can make an appropriate decision about where your soul alignment is. Yeah. So it's interesting that we've got this Four of Swords here in the future position, because I wonder if there is another person. I think this might have to do with a family situation or a romance more than even a business thing. I wonder if you have tried in the past to have a conversation, to say, hey, there's some different feelings going on here, let's talk about them. And I wonder if you've been placated, patronized a little bit by someone else in the situation. And that's why the Four of Swords is kind of difficult. Or maybe the Four of Swords is even saying, hey, the conversations in the past have not really resulted in any conclusions, right? It's good to talk about them, but there's no agreements being made, right? There's no end to things. I think that you've been able to express yourself, but nothing actually is getting accomplished, because I think you don't really trust the other person involved, or and maybe for good reason, right? Maybe you have a good reason to believe that they aren't being quite honest with you. Or the difficulty lies in how to talk about these fluctuating feelings. Are you still aligned with this project, with this path, with this ultimate 5 or 10-year plan? Is your cup half full, or is it emptying out? Are you losing kind of faith and hope and alignment with this thing? How do we talk about that? How do you accurately communicate that to someone else? Because if you say, hey, I'm kind of losing hope in this thing, well, that's not exactly true either, because you still have some hope. So how do you communicate about this without just contradicting yourself every other sentence? Yeah. So there is a difficulty with communication here. I think that's what's sticking out to me, is that this is a really huge kind of life-changing course that you're on. How are you going to, how are you going to discover that in yourself if you are still in alignment with this? How are you going to communicate this with the other people in your life if you're having issues, second thoughts, doubts, that sort of thing? Okay. Because I feel like if you are to focus your energy on this, it is going to come to fruition. It is going to manifest, right? But it's that Eight of Cups that's kind of worrisome. Let's do another card here and see what's in the environment. Yeah, Lover's card in the environment. See, now we've got this. This is an issue of a partnership for sure, and it might even be a spouse. There could be a marriage. You could be married to this person. It's the Lover's card. It's in the position of the environment, so that tells me that there is. And it still could be family, right? It could be a spouse, a romantic partner, a family member, someone very close to you. I don't necessarily think it's business per se. But there is now, how do we talk to this person, and how do we express ourselves and our feelings and express our truth honestly without kind of jeopardizing the relationship? Right? It's a very delicate situation. We want to be open and truthful. We want the other person to be that way with us. But it's almost like with the Four of Swords here, it's better not to talk about it, because just opening up this can of worms is going to disrupt this relationship. Yeah. Let's check another one here. We got an 8. And the Eight of Pentacles here, this is in the position of what we don't want. This is kind of slow and steady, right? This is prudence. This is caution. This is not taking any drastic steps. This is kind of almost a card that says, well, let's wait and see what happens. But see, that's kind of what we're doing here. That's why it seems as if our 10-year plan, our 5-year plan is still 5 or 10 years out, right? Because we've been locked in this 8. And this is kind of, it's the lemniscate, right? It's the number 8 that just, it loops back in on itself. So we're trying to make progress, but we keep kind of coming back to right now. It's like a Groundhog's Day, right? Keeps kind of repeating. So there is some sort of fire energy that is needed. And maybe this Eon card down here is talking about a decision that you have to make. And maybe you are right at the threshold of something, right at the doorway. And maybe it is up to you to take that step and either fully commit, or maybe it's the exit, right? Maybe it's the doorway out. Because a lot of the time this card says nothing's really going to progress until a definite final decision is made, right? With all of your resolve to either do something or do not do something, but to walk through that doorway, okay? And so I feel that's why we're kind of lingering here. While we want this progress, but it's it's not happening. And I think maybe we've been wondering why, but it seems pretty apparent why. It's because we're a little bit reluctant. Do we still want that, you know? So the Eight of Pentacles, yeah, it's caution, it's prudence, it's taking things slowly, right? And, you know, this is always good advice, but that's not what we really want right now. It's in the position of what we don't want. I think what we need is action. We need activity. Let's do one card. There it is. There's one step. There's the Ace of Pentacles. And this might be, well, either way, this is the next step. Right? This is taking a positive action. This is taking, you have to take a step in a certain direction, and you have to be fully committed to that step. It's a step through this doorway. Okay. And the ace is, the pentacles, right? The earth energy contain all of the other cards. So this contains all of the cups, all of the swords, right? All of the wands. It's a card that says you have to take one step, pick a direction and take a step in that direction with all of you, your body, your mind, your heart, your soul, your spirit, all of it, right? Everything is contained in this vessel. So you're moving everything over. But this is, I think the clarity will come to you, which direction you need to go. Maybe the mystery card will help us with that. Maybe we should do one of our divine doorway cards, right? Because it feels to me like you're kind of on the hinge here. And there is this decision that we need to make, whether we're going to be all in or all out of this thing. Yeah, and it could be a business deal. It doesn't have to be a family thing. It doesn't have to be a romance. Let's see what we've got here. Silent skill. I challenge you to unpack your mind. In meditation's grace, the soul can unwind. It says, breathe in, breathe out, let go of doubt. That's our divine doorway. I like the breathing thing and the meditation thing, because usually with the Four of Swords, that's what I talk about, is the fourfold breath, right? That it's in times of mental stress, if we have a Five of Swords, let's say, right, which is mental turmoil, stress, frustration, it's good to bring ourselves back to center. Meditate, gather yourself, work on the breath, focus on steady breathing. 4 in, hold for 4, 4 out, hold for 4, that sort of thing. So I kind of like this, that it says, to unpack your mind, your soul can unwind, breathe in, breathe out, meditate. Yeah. And I think that's really the solution here. I think that's kind of the best bet that we have, because we talked about opening up this conversation, but now I'm feeling like you have already. And I'm feeling like there's this sense of things that aren't being said, right? That nobody is really just saying exactly what they feel, because I think there's concern that we don't want to disrupt the relationship. We don't want to harm the bond here between the two of you. So I feel like there's just this, there's always this underlying vibe or feeling that never really gets talked about. Yeah. So it perhaps is in a state of introspection and meditation where you can figure out if your cups are filling up or if they're draining out. And we can make this one definite decision to get ourselves on the right track, get ourselves where we need to be for this month. Well, let's look at the mystery card now. Maybe Mr. Ed has something significant for us. Put our doorway over here. I'm thinking it's either going to be a 5 of Wands or a 6 of Cups, right? 5 of Wands would say that we're taking definite action, that we are we're not wallowing in this 8. We don't just keep folding back in on ourselves and our feelings, that we're taking an initiative, we're taking action with a 5 of Wands. Or we get a 6 of Cups, where now we do have that heart-to-heart connection with this other person, and we're able to talk and express ourselves openly, and now there's this understanding. Yeah. So I'm thinking it's either one or the other. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Okay. Oh, Knight of Cups. Okay. Well, the Knight of Cups is this Cancer energy here, this Chariot in action. This is kind of the chariot once it gets moving, So maybe this is the way forward. Maybe this is really having that heart-to-heart, like I said about the 6 of Cups. Maybe the 6 of Cups will come later. But first we have to really take our heart. We have to figure out what we feel first. We have to do the breathing, gather yourself, meditate, figure out how you really feel about this. And then bring that cup, bring that heart, bring that feeling, bring that realization, bring that truth to the table and talk about it. Communicate it. Maybe not with a rational, calm discussion. Maybe it's got to be in different, more intimate ways of communicating rather than trying to be logical, But I think doing it in a kind way, as an act of love and affection. Of opening yourself up, of saying, here's my heart in a cup, and, it's a vulnerable kind of state to be in. Yeah. But maybe that's going to allow for the really effective communication to take place, right? And it doesn't have to be verbal, it's through body language and gestures and just, micro expressions and all these sorts of things. But it's a more subtle way of communicating, I think, and it feels to me like this is you kind of making that first gesture. Now, the Knight of Cups is always about the giving and receiving of love and affection. Yeah, because we don't know whether this person was just given this cup or discovered it and they're carrying it home, or if they've brought it with them as a gift for someone else. Yeah. So this is kind of like being open and being vulnerable with someone, and allowing this kind of heart-to-heart communication. All right? I think that's going to be very important for you in the next few weeks. Yeah. Now, we're going to do an extended reading, Aries. If you want to stick around, click on the link either above or below in the video description. New readings for Aries every Monday and Friday, but I'm here every day, so you can come back and see me again tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free, doesn't cost you anything. And leave some comments for me. I really do enjoy hearing from you. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.